BMW X3 followed the path beaten by the older brother X5. Perhaps that is why it turned out to be successful also in terms of reliability. Debuted in 2003, the BMW X3 currently has a reputation as one of the most reliable representatives in the line of the Bavarian concern. Moreover, it has no weaknesses as such, and almost all technical solutions are rolled back on the older X5. In Europe, the X3 is a very popular mid-size crossover, valued for drive, safety, and low running costs. Gasoline does not count. But in Russia, you are not here, and the specifics of the climate, dirty and broken roads slightly change the optimistic picture. Let's start with an unpleasant and very expensive breakdown. On cars with a panoramic sunroof, an attempt to open it in winter can easily result in a breakdown of the mechanism. This happens not only in frosty weather, and there is a version that driving on bumpy roads with an open sunroof is to blame. Specialized services do not undertake to repair the hatch, they only change the assembly. 69,000 rubles for a part plus 6,500 rubles for work. With luck, it can be closed forever, which will cost an order of magnitude cheaper. With a simple hatch, there are no such problems. How many times has it been said that our service intervals should be less than those recommended by the manufacturer for civilized countries? But, alas, not all owners want to believe this. But only fresh filters can clean dusty air and dirty fuel. So maintenance every 10 to 12,000 kilometers is the key to a long and trouble-free crossover service. For example, an airflow meter, 20,000 rubles, in Europe is a practically unclaimed part, but in our country its failures due to pollution are not rare. Or let's take the radiator of the cooling system. There are known cases of leaks at the junction with the side plastic tanks. Once a year, washing the radiator is highly desirable. This is a preventive measure against overheating of the engine, which in the worst case comes back to haunt the replacement of the cylinder head. Well, a couple more moments from the Russian specifics. Headlight glasses are quickly scratched by abrasive flying from under the wheels of passing cars. Well, the design of the side sills is such that it is problematic not to stain clothes about them. The range of motors is designed for any request. At first, petrol engines of 2.0L, 150 horsepower, 2.5L, 192 horsepower, 3.0L, 231 horsepower, and 2 turbo diesels 2.0L, 150 horsepower, 3.0L, 204 LS. After restyling in 2007, the power of 2.5 and 3-liter gasoline units increased to 218 and 272 horsepower, respectively, and debuted the latest 3-liter turbo diesel with a capacity of 286 liters. With all engines with timing chain drive. Negative on motors is practically unknown, unless on a 3-liter, pre-styling, diesel engine. The crankshaft pulley damper is stratified, 17,500 rubles. There have been cases of failures of the crankshaft and camshaft position sensors. It should be borne in mind that our most common 3-liter gasoline engine in the urban cycle easily consumes up to 20 liters of gasoline. And during registration actions, to verify its identification number, it is necessary to remove the left engine mount. The X-Drive all-wheel drive system is currently perhaps the most advanced used on serial crossovers. Although it is complex, but, nevertheless, woe from the mind does not suffer. In general, there is no information about problems with the transmission. As for the automatic gearbox, this is potentially not the strongest link in high-mileage specimens. As you know, startups with slippage and untimely oil changes finish off automatic machines. Mechanical gearboxes were also installed on the model. They do not raise questions about reliability, but replacing the clutch after 150,000 kilometers, of course, is not a very budgetary event, 19,000 rubles without work. The front suspension is structurally the same as that of the BMW X5, but it goes much longer. Shock absorbers and levers on our roads can withstand 100 to 120,000 kilometers. Of course, for European and American autobahns, this figure is much higher. In the rear suspension, with a run well over 100, in addition to shock absorbers, it's time to update the silent blocks of the trailing arm, the upper hub and lower, breakup, hub silent blocks. Wheel bearings are also not in the area of attention, and if the front one goes into spare parts only assembled with the hub, then the rear one can be changed separately. The steering rack taps every second car, but this is a design feature that you will either have to put up with or try to radically eliminate the knock by changing the assembly to a new one. But when it is really necessary to install a new rail, it is with the beginning of leaks from it. True, this usually does not happen earlier than at 150,000 kilometers. By the way, the rack comes complete with steering rods and costs 63,950 rubles. There are no complaints about the braking system. Brake discs can withstand 2 sets of pads, and cases of behavioral, beating discs during braking are extremely rare. It is not known about serial problems with electrics, despite the fact that almost all cars bought in Russia through dealer channels are charged to the maximum. Americans, on the contrary, sometimes come across very modest, without bi-xenon, navigation, monitor. By the way, it is possible to set up navigation for an instance with any origin. Summing up, let's not forget to clarify something. The BMW X3 model is quite young, and there are still few statistics on specimens with high mileage. In addition, it is difficult to understand the true picture with the odometer readings, because these data are recorded in 3 electronic control units and it is not difficult for the speedometer corrector to change them.